As the leaves fell and the air grew chilly, Halloween night arrived with an eerie promise. My friends and I had always been drawn to the macabre, and that year, we decided to venture into the depths of terror. We gathered at my friend Lily's old, creaky house, which she had always claimed was haunted. This Halloween, we would find out if she was telling the truth. The old clock on the wall struck midnight as we lit the candles that would guide us through the darkness of the house. Shadows danced on the walls, and the sound of a mournful wind seeping through the ancient window frames sent shivers down our spines. Lily led the way, her flashlight casting a feeble beam that barely pierced the thick darkness. Cobwebs hung from every corner, and the air was thick with the scent of decay. We descended into the basement, the very heart of the haunting tales that surrounded this place. The creaky stairs protested our presence as we reached the dimly lit basement. It was filled with abandoned, broken furniture and long-forgotten trinkets. The atmosphere was heavy, and I felt a chill that ran deeper than the autumn air outside. As we explored further, we stumbled upon a dusty old mirror shrouded in a tattered cloth. The mirror's glass was cracked and tarnished, and I couldn't help but feel uneasy about it. Lily, always the daring one, reached out and yanked the cloth away. Our reflection stared back at us, twisted and distorted. We quickly moved on, shaken. The further we ventured into the basement, the more the feeling of being watched intensified. Every corner seemed to hide some malevolent presence. We came across an old photo album, its pages filled with faded black and white pictures of a family we couldn't recognize. The family's eyes seemed to follow us as we flipped through the pages. Suddenly, we heard a whisper, faint but distinct, coming from somewhere in the darkness. Our flashlights danced in every direction as we tried to pinpoint the source, but the whispering continued. We couldn't make out the words, but the voices seemed to be beckoning us, inviting us deeper into the darkness. As we followed the whispers, we found ourselves in a hidden chamber, a small, windowless room tucked away in the far corner of the basement. It was filled with strange, occult symbols scrawled on the walls. In the center of the room stood a decrepit old chair, covered in dust. In a trance-like state, we approached the chair, the whispers growing louder and more insistent. Before we knew it, we were seated in that cursed chair, our minds clouded and our hearts pounding in terror. Then from the shadows a figure emerged, tall and gaunt, shrouded in tattered robes. Its face was obscured by a dark hood, and its hands were bony and elongated. We were paralyzed, unable to escape as the figure began to chant an incantation in a language we couldn't understand. The room grew colder, and the air thickened with malevolence. The figures on the walls seemed to come to life, their eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. It was then that we realized we had stumbled upon something far beyond our understanding. As the incantation reached its climax, a blinding light erupted from the center of the room, and we were engulfed in a torrent of spectral energy. Our screams were drowned out by the overwhelming force that pulled us into another dimension. When we awoke, we were no longer in the basement or even the old house. We were in a place of eternal darkness, a realm of nightmares. The hooded figure stood before us, its eyes burning with an unholy fire. It spoke, a voice that reverberated through our very souls. "You have trespassed into the realm of the unknown, and now you are bound to it for all eternity. Welcome to your nightmare." We were trapped, lost in a world of darkness. Our only company, the hooded figure and the whispers of the damned. We had dared to seek terror on Halloween night, and it had found us in a place where our screams would go unheard and our skin would crawl for all eternity.